Hey, good morning, everybody. It's 8:15 in the morning. It is the 20th of January 2021. The United States is about to have a new president inaugurated, so this is a perfect time for me to do an analysis on a few different altcoins. I'm going to be taking a look at Cardano. I'm going to take a look at IOTA. I'm going to take a look at NANO, and I'm going to take a look at Band. Those are the four assets that I'm going to take a look at. I'm going to start by taking just a real quick look at Bitcoin, see what it's doing, because a lot of what Bitcoin does is really going to it's really going to drive where altcoins go. So, of course, before I get into any of this, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research, just giving my opinion on the market. So let's go ahead and take a look. Again, I'm going to start with Bitcoin. I'm going to work from there, and then we're going to take a look at some of these altcoins. All right, so taking a look at the chart, just a couple things that I'll note here. All right, so first off, I've got ourselves currently in a complex correction. Now, what I'm not sure of just quite yet, I'm not sure if we are actually in an ABC. We could be in a wedge. I see some people out there that are painting this as a wedge of sorts, and we'll just kind of have to wait and see. So first off, let's just take it from the top here, right? So I counted a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That worked out really well. 5 waves down, 5 waves down. That worked out really quite nicely. Then from there, I counted 5, 3, 5. That's an ABC, a valid ABC. That worked out very, very well. The high of the C didn't violate the top of our prior trend, so that works out. It actually works out pretty well. So again, I've got a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 4 doesn't violate the 1. This works really well. And it was short, okay? That wave 3 didn't go very high. That was a short wave 3. But at any rate, we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, A, B, C to finish that. Let me just move that guy right there. All right, A, B, C to finish that. And then we've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and I believed at the time this was completing a wave B. You know, a lot of times when you're taking a look at charts, you look at the past and it makes more sense. It will make more sense as time goes on. And then from up here, it's a little messier. It does get a little messier. I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but what I'm not sure, let me just pull down to the 30-minute here for a moment, because this guy right here, I've got it marked as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but what I'm actually believing this may be is the 3 could be here, the 4 could be right here, just a real short move, and then the 5 would be right here to complete this wave A. This is the alternate that I'm kind of keeping an eye on. And then from there we have, you know, a nice diagonal, leading diagonal here. And it's a good candidate for this. So a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a diagonal here into what I believe is going to be an A. So from down here we have the A, we have the expanded flat for the B, and then we go up for the C. All right, and why do I think that that could be the case? Well, let me just show you. Because here from the top, we don't have really an impulse. We have a violation of this low here, which is why I believe we have an A, B, C into the A, B, C into the B, and then we have this last move down here into the C on a lower degree. So this also seems to work out pretty well for an expanded flat. All right, so we've got that C down there, we've got the B down here, and then of course we finish this move. All right, so if this is the A, B, C into the B, we should be going down into the C. All right, and with this being an expanded flat, you know, I'm actually thinking we're pretty close to the bottom. It's very, very possible we are close to the bottom. And if this is a wedge that we are in that is not painted yet, so let me just go to BLX for a moment. Yes, I realize that I have to be on a daily for this. If this is a wedge that we're currently painting right now, we've got this guy right here, moving on down. And then we've got this guy. We'll start it from right here because it's got some history there. Moving on up. We could find ourselves down here at 33,150. All right, 33,150. And where are we right now? I think we're at 33. Let me get off of that, go back to the 30. We're at 34. I think we got as low as 34. All right, so are we going to go a little lower? So remember, 33,150. Let's measure this, okay? I'm going to remove this measurement because it's old and outdated. I'm going to remove this trend line because it's kind of in the way as well. Get rid of you. All right, so let's measure this guy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the top approximately to the bottom of this A, and then go to the C. And down here, there is at the 123.6, 31,250, 32,300. So it would kind of make sense for us to push down. And what that's going to do, that's going to take us down here to the 786, which honestly is a good candidate for a wedge. All right, a good candidate for the wedge is going to be right here at this 100. So this seems to be a good place to be buying. Do I think that this is a good place to enter a long? No. Do I think this is a good place to start to layer in buys? Yeah, I think it could work out. I think it would work out pretty well. So again, we're finding some support here because this is the 618 of this trend, right? So currently we're at 61.8% the length of this wave A projected from this high right here at about 38,000, almost 38,000. So yeah, I think Bitcoin probably will push a little bit lower, but altcoins are where that's where things are really going to move. Do I like Bitcoin down here? I do. I would nibble on some spot. I wouldn't nibble on any longs here. I wouldn't nibble on the longs until you got down here to the 786, which is going to be at about 32,250. And we may just shoot down there today. It's very, very possible. All right, so let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of these alts. Cardano versus Tether. I'm looking at this on a 30-minute chart. Let's go ahead and move up to an hourly and just kind of take a look at this. I'm going to remove some of this right here, move this down. All right, so yeah, I was watching this, and what I think we actually had was not an ABC, but I think what it actually was a 1 2 1 2. So we've got the 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 into the 3, ABC into the 4, and then I don't know if this was the 5. Let's just go ahead and just take a look at this. So from down here, we've got the 1, and we've got the 2, and then again, we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here into the 3, come back for the 4, go up for the 5. And this is going to be on a pretty high degree here that I'm going to be taking this guy. All right, and then from there, so from down here, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into another 1, 2, 3, a pretty deep 4, and then we go up for a 5 on a lesser degree. I'm going to change the color for contrast purposes. So this seems to fit pretty well. The 4 doesn't violate the 1, and then we go up here for the 5. It makes a lot of sense. And as far as this correction goes, this looks like it's pretty valid for a correction. We came down to the 123.6. We didn't go down as low as the 1.618. So that is a perfectly valid correction. And I'm not going to dig into it. I'm looking at this at a high time frame here, or a higher time frame. I know it's an hourly, but I think it's valid for an ABC correction. So since we've got that, let me just remove this, clean up the chart just a little bit here. And let's measure what I have projected as the blue wave 3. So take it from down here on wave 2. I'm going to pull it over here to the side because we're focusing on our wave 4 correction. So Cardano to come down to potentially 31.5 cents, maybe 27.2 cents. I don't know if it's going to go down that low, but we've got that down there. And then for an upside, we have 50 cents right on the money. And that would make a whole lot of sense from a psychological standpoint for Cardano to stop around 50 cents. Will it go higher than that? It absolutely can. Will it go lower than 31.5 cents? It absolutely can. We don't know what the price is going to do in the future, but what we can do, and really the only thing we can do, is take a look at technical targets using technical tools to determine where it may go in the future. Again, if I'm right, and this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that completed, then we work on a correction, I'd be watching to see what happens down here at the 236. What I can say is, as of right now, our waves indicator is saying to be a buyer. To be a buyer right here. All right, I'm on log scale. If I move to arithmetic, then we're sitting right on the 236, and the 382 is going to be sitting right there at 30 cents, which is about 3.7 cents from where we are right now. I wouldn't be rushing to buy. You're going to have some time. If you start to rush, then you're going to end up losing out on some profit. But I think now is a good place for Cardano to be nibbling at spot, right? Nibbling at spot. And I'm not saying to take a full position size, but what I can say is the last time we had an indication to buy like this was right down here. I'll just take it right here in the middle of the price range, and that price ended up going 61%. And if we do nibble right here, what is it to our price target? Well, it's another 50%. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight, not saying that we're going to just go directionally up from here. I'm just saying that this is a good place to be nibbling. Take nibbles, all right? This is what I think on Cardano. Let's go ahead and move over and take a look at Band. I actually haven't looked at this chart, and if this is the first time you're watching me, I don't prepare really anything ahead of time. I do all of this off the cuff, so this is my first time that I've taken a look at Band in a really, really long time. You can see the last time I looked at Band was all the way back here in December of 2020, so it's been a while. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the chart. Let's just clear everything off the chart. We're going to start from scratch here. I'm going to go to a 4-hour time frame, and just to see what's going on here. Okay, so from down here, let me just go ahead and just count this out from what I can see. From down here at the bottom, I count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look for the corrections first. We have a correction here. It goes against the trend. Big trend up, indicative of a wave 3. It looks like we have an extension in the wave 3. We've got a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3. Got a little correction into the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 5. Works out pretty well. Let's put a fib on it. From the 2 to the 3. We came almost down to the 382. We came down to the 236 at 88 cents. We went all the way up to the 236 extension, which is right there at 188, 189, and that was good. Okay, so this looks to me like a 1-2. And then this looks like wave 3. So from down here, this is going to be a little tougher. I don't know if this is the 1, 2, 3 extension again into the 3, 4, and then we've got the 5 up here. This works out okay. So let's just go ahead and take this from this bottom to this top. We went down below the 382. Even if I went in arithmetic, we went really deep. And you know, usually when we have parabolic moves like this, I don't like to be on arithmetic. I like to be on there's the 50, and let's throw the 618 on there. I like to be on logarithmic if we have big parabolic advances. So coming back to the 50 makes a whole lot of sense. Upside target for this guy is going to be at about $34.91. Now that may seem crazy. That may seem ridiculous, but keep in mind that back here, the price was trading at 32 cents, went to $1.80, and then all of a sudden it went from $1 all the way up to $17. So it doesn't seem far-fetched to think that this guy can go from $8 to $34. Yeah, that's a 300% increase from where we're at right now. I will say that it does look like we're getting a little bit of a buy indicator on Band, but also keep in mind that from this high up here, it does look like we are in the middle of a correction, and it looks like we're getting close to being completed. We're sitting here at the 100 right now, bouncing off of it. We could come to $8.26. So, you know, maybe throw in some layered buys, but what it looks like is we're going to find a bounce here pretty soon. Now, I'm not saying that this guy's going to go straight up to where the upside target was, which was, you know, what was that upside target? $35. That would be crazy to assume that we're just going to go straight up there. It's going to take some time. There's going to be a lot of chop. Hands are going to be shaken. But, you know, we reclaim some support here. Again, I do like to look left often. And by looking left here, let's just go ahead and mark this out. right here, we've got support, resistance, 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 broke through, support. Claim that as support. Now, in my opinion, we shouldn't get back to 734. If we do, then a whole lot is being invalidated. Okay, so that's my opinion. But I would say that buying somewhere inside of this box would probably yield good results given some time. So buying somewhere around here, and that's going to be between 8.25 and 871, somewhere in that range, probably would be a pretty decent move. I do like it. Even though the 12-hour is pointing down, the 1 hour and the 3 hour, sorry, let me move to the 1 hour here. The 1 hour and the 3 hour are both in oversold conditions at the same time. And if you've been watching me for any period of time, or if you're on our Discord, you know this. And there's a link in the video description if you want access to our Discord. When we have the 1 hour and the 3 hour both in oversold conditions at the same time, typically that is a good indication for a move up. Look what happened the last time. We had an indication right here, which looks similar to right now. We had a move up, then we had another cleanse, which took us down here. So if history will repeat itself on band, what we're going to get a move up, and then we're going to get a move down before we get that last move up. Very likely this is what could happen. We could get that move up there and see we've got this, which we're going to have to contend with as resistance. So it would make a lot of sense. Again, looking left, let's take this guy right here. Got a lot of confluence with this right here. We're right inside of this box right now where we had resistance, then we had support. Then we had resistance, then we had support. Now, resistance, and then we break through. Okay, we had some resistance here as we broke through. Resistance got sold off. I believe we could probably go up there again. Then we pull back, and then we can see ourselves move up. That's what I think is going to happen on band. All right, so we've taken a look at Cardano. We've taken a look at band. Let's take a look at Nano. Looking at Nano versus tethers, I'm looking at all these altcoins versus tethers. Okay, so for Nano, you know, we were comparing Nano with Lumens yesterday with Stellar. This guy does look like he failed. Let me just make this trend line a little bit smaller. So it looks like he's falling out of the wedge, which I don't like. I don't like this. So just taking a look at this, this looked like a pretty bullish setup, but it failed and it was consolidating below this trend line. And actually, if you don't take into account that big wick and put this guy, say right here, one way or another, it looks like we failed and we retested and then we failed, right? We fell out of it, we retest and then we fail. And it looks like you can see that happening in many different ways, all based on this pivot down here. Do I think it could work to buy? I mean, maybe. You could probably get a move up here to the trend line again at about 360. I'm not as optimistic on Nano at the moment, because what it looks like is we had a nice move like this where we had A, B, C, and then we moved up. Maybe A, B, C get a little truncation, but very likely Nano moves down to 236, maybe even as low as 171, maybe, right? Now, historically, I've said that altcoins are in a good place, but I mean, look, Nano's already gone on a major run. Nano's already gone from $1 all the way up to 520, so that was a 402% run. Now, do I think it can go higher? Yeah, I think it can, because what it looks like we're in, based on this, let me zoom out. So it looks like we have a bullish possibility here. Again, we've got from down here a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have a little correction, and then from down here, correction completed here, 1, 2, 3. Could we come all the way back down here? It's very possible. It's very possible. We'll have to wait and see if we stop here at about 230, 4, and then 5. So is there a bullish scenario for Nano? Absolutely. Absolutely there is. And maybe it hits. Maybe it hits. I would be watching to see what happens down here. So watch, see what happens, and let's go ahead and measure this guy real quick. We're going to take it from the bottom of the 2, look left, bottom of the 2, to the top of the 3, and I mean, we came back already to the 50 on this. That's a pretty deep pullback. All right, and this doesn't look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not 5 waves up, right? This, you can't, no matter how hard you try, this is not an impulsive move. So more than likely, excuse me, more than likely, Nano could find its way back here at the 382, which is going to be at about 267. All right, it's possible it finds its way to 267. It's even more possible that he finds its way back down here to the 50, or potentially even the 618. The 618 would still be valid because what it can't violate, really the only thing that we have to confirm a bullish count, is that level there at 150. We can't violate 150, and heck, we're at 325 right now. If this thing came all the way back to 178, whew boy, that's a big drop from where we're currently at. Okay, so just be cautious with Nano is all I'm saying. You have to be cautious. I can take a look at Sushi, Uni, and Dot. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. No problem. I haven't looked at them, and so yeah. So let's go ahead and take a look at IOTA. So let's take a look at IOTA versus Tether. Looking at the 4-hour. I know there are a lot of people on our Discord that do like to watch this. A lot of these, what I'm looking at moves from the bottom, right? And I'm going to try and ignore the big wicks that we had on March 13th. So from down here, right there, I can see a 1, 2, 3 correction. Didn't violate the 1 to the 4 up to the 5. All right. So we've got that. And then we have potentially an ABC here. It's not fantastic. ABC. It didn't go up very high on the B, which indicates that it is weaker. And you know, really we haven't gone up a whole lot since these lows. We've gone from 22 cents to 44 cents. It's only gone up 100%. Where we were just looking at Nano, and it had a move of 400%. So what does the upside potential look like here on IOTA? I think the upside potential is actually pretty good, because again, I think it's one that just hasn't performed. If we take it from the bottom to the top and we take our pullback, let's just see where our upside targets are for this. All right, let's go ahead and minimize this guy. So if this is a 1, 2, I would expect wave 3 to go up to $3.40. Upside potential, in my opinion, is much greater on IOTA than other things. Watch what happens at that $3 mark. All right, if you're going to buy here at 44 cents, if you're going to buy here 44 cents, and this guy runs up to $3, you better remember this video, and you better think about selling, because that would have been almost a 600% move. Now, that is assuming that that's what's going on. And actually, looking here a little closer, from down here, I see a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a nice impulsive move, and then A, B, C, 2, and then we should be working on the 3, 4, 5. We should see some accelerated buying here in the near future. If we are in wave 3 of wave 3, we need to be seeing some accelerated buying. We need to see it soon. So really, we're looking for that to be the 3. We come back for the 4, then we go up for the 5. Don't know where the 5 is going to go yet. I'm not going to try and determine where that 5 is going to go yet. But in my opinion, IOTA has much more upside potential than really anything that we've looked at so far. So keep that in mind. What I might actually do, I may actually make some changes to my algos, because I do have some automated trading that I do on some alts. I may flip from one coin into IOTA, because again, the upside potential, it's pretty good here on IOTA. So would I buy right now on IOTA? Let me just take a look and see. If this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, another 1, possible that we could see this guy go from the bottom to the top. We came back to the 236, back down here to maybe 38 cents, maybe even 35 cents. very possible that we can make our way back down here. I would definitely be a buyer down here. I would not be a buyer right now. It doesn't fit the narrative. A good buy would have been down here at 33 to 34 cents. Our indicator, our waves indicator, said to buy here. And just for historical capturing, it said to buy here, and then the next buy was down here. This was a better buy because we had the 1 hour, the 3 hour, and the 12 hour all in oversold all at the same time. This was a great place to buy. Buying down here, selling up here, that again would have yielded almost 100% if you went from mid-range to where the buy was all the way up there to the tippy top, which nobody ever gets the very bottom, nobody ever gets the very top. But at any rate, that would have been a decent trade. But right now, oh, and again, sorry, we had a buy signal here. We had a good rally up, and I don't see a good setup for buying just quite yet. But I do like IOTA. I do like IOTA. So let me take a look at Uni. All right, so currently at $8, right on the money. Let me move this to, and actually Uni is signaling a potential, really a good buy signal here. Last time we had a signal that looked very similar to this was back here. Yeah, it dipped a little lower, but buying down here, even though it dipped lower, probably shook out some weak hands here. This completed a correction. I'm just going to throw this on here. So from the top, A, B, C, finish that correction, and then we go up. And again, let me just mark off the corrections that I see here. A, B, C, and if you haven't noticed, corrections typically come in waves of 3. Waves of 3. And do we have 3 waves here? No. No, we don't. What we've more than likely got here is an A, we go up for the B, and then we go down for the C. So it's possible that Uni goes down another $1. Not directly from now. I still think it's possible. It goes from $8 potentially up to $9, and at that point it's probably going to lose $2 of value. So I actually do think Uni is probably going to bounce. I think Uni is going to make a move up before it comes back down, but I think this is more than likely what's going to happen. Yes, the indicator does say to buy here. The indicator says to buy here, just like I said to buy here. But what ended up happening? When the 12-hour looks right now, the way that the 12-hour looks back then, right? So if you take a look at that red 12-hour, it looks very similar to what it looks like right now. We had that bounce, we got the bounce, but then what happened? What happened? It failed, and it came back down before it eventually moved back up. So again, what I think actually is what's going to happen with Uni, and maybe with Bitcoin as well. We get the bounce, we get it up to $9. Maybe it doesn't go quite that high, and then we see the move down. So let's just measure this here for a moment and just see, assuming that we just bottomed. I'm going to take it from the top to the bottom. That would be perfect for it to go to $9. That would be a move to the 618, and then this move to the negative 236 at $7.18, the negative 236 extension. That makes so much sense for the completion of that correction. So would I buy here at $8 and take it up to $9? I mean, that's a decent move. That's a decent move. But I do think ultimately it probably will come back down here. But would I be willing to buy here? Sure. Sure, I'd be willing to buy here. The indicator says to buy. So I'd be willing to buy here. And I'm not going to do this because I'm not trading Uni, but if you want me to give my opinion, my non-financial advice, you're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research. This should just be one point of your research. I would say that there is probably a good possibility this guy goes up to $9 but fails from there and likely moves its way back down to about 7.25. I do like the cluster that we've got here. Let me just highlight this. Right here, there's a good cluster. So I would say that in this box, more than likely, it would be a good place to buy. And actually, just looking left, I would probably take this, make it a little bit smaller, and take this guy to about right. Yeah, I would say about right there. So really at that negative 236 is where I'd be looking to buy, layer in, maybe even all the way down to 660, although I don't think it's going to go that low. I really don't. I don't think it's going to go quite that low. Let me just take this, a pivot from the bottom to the top. Okay, try and get that guy as close to perfect as I can. And then we've got that negative 382. That's right there at 727. So much is saying that you should wait just a little bit further. Again, can you scalp $1 off of this? Yeah, you can. And, depending on how much capital you're working with, $1 move on an $8 asset could work out pretty well for you. Ultimately, I would say more than likely we probably want to wait for this guy to come back down a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Sushi. Sushi versus Tether. And Sushi I have never looked at, so this is going to be my first time taking a look at Sushi. So going back to November of 2020, that was the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's get right into it. From down here at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Give myself a little bit of room there. I'm going to put this like that. From down here, I see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a lower degree. And I could even go lower if I wanted to. I'm not going to, but if you take a real good look here, you can actually see in this wave 3, you can see a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This works out pretty well into a wave 3. So this, I believe, is R1, and then this had to be the 2. Let's see how far that went. I don't really like wicks, but let's just see if it went down to a technical. I mean, it did come down to the 50, so I would say that would be a candidate for a 2. So from down here, again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3, A, B, C into the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 5, into the 1, 2. And then we're going to work on doing the 3, 4, 5, which I think it's probably in the middle of right now. I'm going to put this on a higher degree. I'm going to change the color for contrast purposes. So that's going to be our 1, 2. Came down to the 50. I do not like that there is a wick on that move. That hurts my soul when I see stuff like that. So at any rate, that looks pretty good there. So this looks pretty good here. Sorry about that. I had a little blip over here. So let's go ahead and move this guy up, because off of that low right here, again, it's going to be hard to count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a lower degree. All right, I'm going to remove this guy for right now. Okay, and so this is a 1, 2, and then I believe this is a 1 working on the 2. So how deep can this guy go? Well, assuming that we do use this wick, Sushi could be moving a little bit lower over time, maybe down here to $5, maybe even to $3.69. Maybe it doesn't quite go that low, because as with most others, we're getting a buy on here. Last time we got a buy that looks similar to this, the price was all the way down here. Now, I think we're going to have a very similar situation here where we're going to get a bounce. So we've got the bottom, bounce right up here to about 677 before we get another leg lower. I really want to keep my eye on 492 on this guy. So yeah, I think on most alts we're going to get a bounce, and I'm kind of watching Bitcoin over on another screen. Bitcoin has moved up like 1.28% just in the last half hour or so. So yeah, I think we're going to get a little bit of a bounce on alts, but ultimately I'm not super bullish just quite yet, and maybe I'm a fool for that, but I don't see that move to new highs yet. I think we need to correct a little bit lower first. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. But upside potential for Sushi is, actually it's not bad. It's really not that bad. Let's just take this guy up here to the top. Assuming we do get that proper alt season, and I'm making a big assumption that we're going to get it. I'm making a big assumption that we're going to get it. Wave 3 would be at $24 almost. Then we would go back for wave 4, and then we've got wave 5. Not sure if I do have the 2618 there. I don't know that it's going to make it that high, guys. But really the algo target's going to be sitting there at that 2618, just kind of waiting, but that's at 152. I don't think that's realistic, especially if you get off of log and you go to arithmetic. For this guy to go all the way to 160, that would mean that he comes all the way up here, and that doesn't make sense. I don't believe for a moment it's going to go up that high. Let's go back to log scale. I would say more than likely the best case scenario is for this guy to go up to maybe $50 to $55. Assuming, right, I'm going to put a caveat there, assuming that we get that big alt season. Now, we may not get that. We may not get that alt season that we are looking for. So we're just going to have to wait and see if it comes. We have to wait and see if Bitcoin does make its way. If Bitcoin makes that explosive move to 50, 60, 70, $80,000, well, then that's fantastic. That's going to open the doors for a lot of these coins to make those huge gains. When Bitcoin only goes up 100%, the potential for some of these altcoins to go up several 100%, 1,000%, it really increases the odds that that's what's going to happen. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got for you right now. If this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you need access to our Discord, there's a link in the video description where you can join. And of course, if this, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day.